The government decides you're dead on a Tuesday, not with a phone call, not with a visit from someone official, with a letter from your bank informing you that your account has been frozen pending estate proceedings. You read it 3 times because it doesn't make sense. You called them this morning about a transaction. You spoke to a real person. She put you on hold for 4 minutes. She said everything looked fine. The letter is dated 2 days ago. You call the bank. The automated system can't find your account. You press 0 for a representative. She asks for your social security number. You give it. She goes quiet. Then she asks if you're calling on behalf of the deceased. You tell her you are the account holder. She puts you on hold. 7 minutes pass. A supervisor picks up. He apologizes and explains that the Social Security Administration has flagged your number as belonging to a deceased individual. The account is frozen per federal compliance requirements. He cannot unfreeze it without documentation from the SSA. He's sorry for your loss. You hang up, you sit in your kitchen for a long time. The Death Master file. That's what they call it. A federal database maintained by the Social Security Administration containing the records of everyone who has died and received benefits. Every hospital, every state vital records office, every funeral home feeds into it. Banks, insurance companies, credit bureaus, the IRS, they all check against it. When your name enters that database, every institution that touches your financial life gets notified simultaneously. The cascade is automatic. It doesn't wait for confirmation. It doesn't require your input. The machine just runs. You're in it. You don't know how yet. Clerical error, probably. Wrong social security number on a death certificate filed somewhere by someone who wasn't paying close enough attention. It happens more than you'd think. The SSA adds roughly 2.5 million records to the Death Master file every year. They get about 12,000 of them wrong. You're one of the 12,000. Stage 1, the freeze. Your bank account has $4,200 in it. Had. The direct deposit from your employer bounced this morning. Your employer's payroll system checks social security numbers against the Death Master file at 3 a.m. It flagged yours automatically. The payroll administrator won't find out until he gets to work. When he does, he put your check on hold pending HR review. HR will open an investigation. You won't be told about any of this until someone calls you, which won't happen today. You drive to the bank in person. The branch manager is sympathetic. He shows you the screen. Your account reads, "Hold SSA death notification." He writes down a phone number for the Social Security Administration. He says he is sorry. You believe him. It doesn't help. The SSA number connects you to an automated system. There is no option for "I have been declared dead." You press 3 for account status. The system asks for your social security number. You enter it. The system says this number is associated with a deceased individual and cannot be processed. It suggests you contact your local SSA office with a certified copy of the death certificate. You don't have a death certificate. You're alive. You drive to the SSA office. The wait is 2 hours and 20 minutes. When your number is called, the clerk types your social security number into her terminal and her face does something involuntary. She recovers quickly, tells you this happens, tells you there's a process. The process involves submitting Form SSA 711 along with certified identification, your driver's license, your passport, your birth certificate to prove that you exist, and the record is in error. Processing time is 4 to 6 weeks. She cannot expedite it. She cannot override the system from her terminal. You drive home with a form and 4 to 6 weeks before anything gets better. Your debit card declined at the gas station on the way. Stage 2, the cascade. It spreads faster than you expected. Day 3, your health insurance provider sends a letter confirming termination of your policy due to reported death. The coverage ended the day the SSA record was filed. Any claims submitted after that date will be rejected. Day 5. The IRS flags your social security number. Your employer's next payroll run generates an error. The system stops withholding federal taxes from your check because the IRS considers you deceased and exempt. This sounds beneficial until you realize it means your employer's compliance system has flagged you as an anomaly requiring legal review. They are very professional. They explain they cannot continue payroll processing for your position until the Social Security matter is resolved. They are not firing you. They are placing you on administrative leave without pay pending documentation. Day 7. Your credit score drops 190 points overnight. All 3 major bureaus received the Death Master File notification. Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, all 3 have coded your file as deceased. Your credit card company freezes your card. Your car loan servicer sends a notice informing your estate of the outstanding balance. Day 9. Your apartment lease is technically void. The property management company received a notification from their insurance carrier. The lease contained a death clause. They're not evicting you immediately. They're sending a letter asking your estate to contact them within 30 days. You are being systematically erased from the infrastructure of your own life. Each institution acts independently, following its own compliance protocols. None of them is doing anything wrong. They're following rules designed to protect the estates of actual dead people. The rules work perfectly. They're just aimed at you. Stage 3, the estate? This is where it gets worse. Your mother filed a death claim with your life insurance company on day 6. She received the same bank notification you did, plus a condolence call from someone in your employer's HR department who wasn't supposed to make that call but did. She believed it. She's 68 years old, and she believed the letter from the government that said her child was dead. You find out when you call her from a borrowed phone because your own cell service has been suspended. She screams. Then she cries. Then she tells you she already called your sister and your father, you Creed, and your aunt who flew in from Phoenix because she thought there was going to be a funeral. Your life insurance policy is a $250,000 term policy. Your mother is the primary beneficiary. She hasn't received the payout yet. Insurance companies run their own verification process, but the claim is active and processing. When the SSA corrects your record, the claim will be voided. But right now, your insurer is treating it as legitimate. You call them to cancel. They tell you they cannot accept cancellation from the insured because the insured is recorded as deceased. They need documentation from the SSA confirming the error before they can close the claim. The same documentation that takes 4 to 6 weeks. The lawyer costs $3,500 up front. You don't have access to your bank account. You borrow the money from your sister, who is still not entirely sure she believes you're alive because the government said otherwise, and the government has documentation. Stage 4. The courtroom. The SSA corrects their record on day 31. You know this because a letter arrives confirming the update. You feel something like relief for about 4 hours. Then the calls start again. The bank account is still frozen. The credit bureaus haven't updated. The insurance claim is still open. The IRS hasn't cleared your number. Your employer is waiting on additional documentation. Your lawyer explains the problem. The SSA correction updates the Death Master file. But the Death Master file does not automatically push corrections to everyone who received the original notification. Each institution received the death record independently. Each institution has to independently receive and process the correction. The speed at which they do that varies. Some take days, some take months, some won't act until they receive a court order. You petition the court to be declared legally alive. This is a real legal proceeding. There is a case number. There is a docket. You sit in a courtroom in front of a judge who has a file with your name on it. The file contains your Form SSA 711, your passport, your birth certificate, your driver's license, fingerprint records, a letter from your doctor confirming a physical examination conducted on a specific date, a sworn affidavit from your employer, and a notarized statement from your mother confirming that she saw you in person and that you are her living child. You've been building this file for 6 weeks. It costs $2,200 in documentation fees, not counting the lawyer. The judge reviews it. He asks you to state your full name and social security number for the record. You do. He asks if you understand why this proceeding is necessary. You tell him you do. He signs the order. You are now legally, officially, provably alive again. The whole hearing takes 11 minutes. Certified copies of the court order cost $400. You need 14 of them, one for each institution that requires a court order before they'll correct their records. Some require originals. You order 6 more. Stage 5. The correction that doesn't correct everything. The bank unfreezes your account on day 48, 3 business days after you deliver the court order in person, not by mail. Mail adds processing time. Your employer reinstates you on day 52. Back pay for the administrative leave period is under review. It could take up to 90 days. You've been living on borrowed money for 7 weeks. The IRS clears your number on day 67. The letter confirming it arrives on day 71. Experian updates your credit file on day 55. Equifax on day 78. TransUnion on day 94. Each bureau requires its own process, its own court order, its own timeline. The 190 points your credit score lost don't come back the same way they left. Some of the damage requires a separate dispute process. Your credit history shows a gap, a period where you effectively didn't exist to any financial system. Lenders will see it. For years, when they pull your file, there will be a notation. Deceased, record corrected per court order dated. It's accurate. It's also the first thing any underwriter reads. The life insurance claim closes on day 60. Your mother receives a letter informing her the claim was filed in error. She's relieved. She's also been telling her neighbors that her child came back from the dead, which is technically not inaccurate. Your health insurance resumes on day 73. The gap in coverage was 73 days. Any medical expenses you incurred during that period, including the $340 prescription you paid out of pocket because you couldn't wait, are not retroactively covered. By day 100, you're mostly alive again. Mostly. The back pay comes through on day 121. It's less than expected because someone in payroll applied the wrong tax withholding rate during reinstatement. You file a correction. That takes 6 more weeks. Your credit score never fully recovers to where it was. Not because of anything you did wrong, but because the 7-3-day gap left a residue that the scoring algorithms don't know how to categorize. You apply for a mortgage 18 months later. The underwriter finds the corrected death record. She calls to ask about it. You explain everything. She says she understands, but the file goes to manual review. Manual review adds 3 weeks. The loan comes through, but the rate is slightly higher than quoted. Elevated administrative risk. That's the phrase she uses. You never find out exactly how it happened. The SSA investigated and sent a letter explaining that a social security number transposition on a death certificate filed in a county you've never visited triggered the record. A hospital clerk entered 1 digit wrong. The actual deceased person's record was also incorrect for 31 days before anyone caught that one too. 2 people, 1 wrong number, 1 keystroke. The person who made the mistake was never identified. The process that allowed a single unchecked data entry to erase a person from financial existence was reviewed and found to be functioning as designed. You carry a certified copy of the court order in your car now, not because you're paranoid, because twice in the past year, you've needed it on short notice, once at a car rental counter and once at a new doctor's office whose system flagged your SSN during intake. You've learned to be prepared for the flag. You hand over the document before they finish the sentence. Your mother still tells the story at family dinners. She calls it the time the government killed you. She thinks it's funny now. You're almost there. The file is still in the system. Corrected, annotated, flagged, but there. Your social security number will carry the notation for as long as the Deathmaster file exists. Every automated system that runs a check will find it and route it to a human. The human will read the annotation. They'll look up from the screen and ask if you can explain the deceased record. And you will explain it again, the same way you've explained it a dozen times, watching their expression move from confusion to understanding to mild professional sympathy. You're fine. You just have to keep proving it.